We got a great show coming up. We're going to talk about AEW's Fight Forever, the console game. We have two big updates, bits of news coming out from Kenny Omega himself. Let's get into the news right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you on the show. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about two pieces of news coming from the one and only the cleaner, Kenny Omega, belt collector himself. The first bit of news is one that came out just a little bit while ago regarding Cody Rhodes. Former AEW star, defected, went over to WWE, and at the time of this recording, he may or may not have shown up at Money in the Bank, may or may not have won Money in the Bank and did all of that. So looking at a recent Sports Illustrated interview, Kenny Omega sat down and was discussing AEW and the video game itself, and he gave us a little bit of an update and dropped some info regarding Cody Rhodes. Omega says explicitly that Rhodes is still in the game. He has not been removed. Omega says that he knows that will surprise a lot of people, which is perhaps why he decided to publicly confirm Rhodes' inclusion ahead of any official roster reveal. So this isn't terribly shocking or surprising that Cody Rhodes would still be in the game. Obviously, the game was in development right around, well, shortly after AEW's inception. And so we should expect a lot of AEW originals to be in the game. Maybe some have departed or will soon depart from AEW as their contracts come up, but it's safe to say you're going to get that core group of talent that started off AEW with the likes of Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Jericho, Darby Allin, and so on. And as Tony Khan has stated in previous interviews too, we can expect to see some form of DLC and content drops down the road after the game has launched. The question will be, and the question I have for all of you is, do you think that AEW Fight Forever will be an annualized franchise like we have seen on the 2K side of things? Or do you think Fight Forever will be a little bit more of a platform and say we get this one singular game and they just add more stars and they beef up the roster, they allow for more content drops and updates, and we get another AEW game maybe in 2-3 years time? It'd be interesting to see. The Sports Illustrated article continues on to say that, further elaborating on Rhodes' role in the game, Kenny Omega details that AEW Fight Forever will coincide with the birth of AEW. More specifically, Omega explains that players will get to experience the creation of AEW from, quote, day one as part of the game. And Rhodes will obviously be a key part of that story, which is why he's being kept in the game despite skipping town on AEW. This will be very neat to see that if there is a story mode like a career mode with Fight Forever, if you're going to go through the ranks and you're going to start off with like the very beginning of AEW, maybe they're going to put in some cutscenes in there of them in Jacksonville, things like that. Maybe you're going to have interactions backstage with the VPs, with Cody Rhodes, with Kenny Omega and the Bucks. And maybe then you will take your creative superstar up through the ranks and try to capture all the championships. But having those interactions with the likes of Cody Rhodes in the game, it's really cool. It's neat to see that they would go for much more of a career mode, a tried and true traditional career mode with this. I'm very, very excited for the game. Now, let's get over to the next piece of news when it comes to AEW Fight Forever. And we're still talking with Kenny Omega because he dropped the news, just very casually, that we have a publisher for the brand new game. It's been a while since we've been able to get any confirmation as to who will be the publisher for the video game. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of hints, but that changed when a leak previously hinted that THQ Nordic had become involved with the project. And this is coming over from Game Rant's article. But this was not confirmed yet by AEW at the time. Now, during a recent live stream, Kenny Omega was playing Street Fighter V, and while he was streaming, Omega answered a variety of questions, and one of which was if AEW Fight Forever had a publisher yet. And very casually, Omega confirms that AEW had indeed partnered with THQ Nordic for the game. Omega didn't elaborate or give any more details on the matter. He just casually dropped it, and maybe it was just a whoops, and he shouldn't have done that just yet. One thing that we have to ask ourselves is, what is going to be the nature of the publishing deal with THQ Nordic? It's great that THQ Nordic is picking up AEW Fight Forever. They're a great company. They have a lot of great first-party games, third-party games, but AEW is a self-funded title. And so I wonder what the role is of THQ Nordic from the publishing side. Will they help with a lot of the marketing? Because we have yet to see any real true marketing of this game. And frankly, if it is still scheduled and slated to come out as it rumors for 2022, potentially in the fall, they really need to start marketing this game and getting it to its final preparation stages and get it in fans' minds and give us some more information as to what the game is all about. So THQ Nordic, if you guys need to know, publishes a bunch of games, but over a dozen small game studios, including Darksiders 3, Destroy All Humans, Piranha Bytes, but THQ Nordic also publishes and distributes its games for studios it doesn't own. There is a THQ Nordic showcase that is scheduled to come up sometime in August. And they will obviously show off a lot of their games that they're going to be publishing and working with. But if this is all true, confirmed by Kenny Omega himself, then we should expect to see AEW Fight Forever shown off in August. This would be perfect time because if it is slated, if they are still trying to get this thing out for September, October, I mean, you're cutting it kind of close. Frankly, I would not be blown away and surprised if Fight Forever was pushed out to Q1 of 2023. I think from the little tidbits of information we've gotten from Kenny Omega over the last few months regarding the game and that how development has been, issues that they have faced, and frankly, they're building a video game from scratch. It's not easy, and they're trying to do it in a very, very short amount of time. So I'm always the believer that if a studio, if a publisher, if the developer needs more time to freshen things up, to tighten things up, to get it where they need it to be, and they need more time, and they need to delay it a little bit, I'm always in favor of that. I'd rather have a much more polished game than get something that's a little bit more broken, like on the 2K side of things, despite them having like 2 years to develop the last one. Anyways, we'll have to see if we're going to see anything coming out of August with THQ Nordic in a showcase, but let me know your thoughts on THQ Nordic being the ones publishing the game. Are you excited for Fight Forever? And if you want to talk more AEW, click this episode right here. We got more Fight Forever coverage for you. See ya.